63. The J-Man 63. Hello YouTubers, Hot Wheelers, and diecast collectors. Today I have a diecast video for you. This is the 1/18 scale James Bond Aston Martin v12 Vanquish from Die Another Day. And while this may not be one of my favorite James Bond franchises, this wasn't necessarily my favorite movies. My favorite era was the newer, the older Sean Connery era and the newer Daniel Craig era, of course. But yeah, well, I'm not gonna really get my favorites out, but this is one of the only ones I can could really afford, and it's hard to buy the Vanquish now. But I would love to get the auto art version of the older DB5. So I'd like to get the DB5 from the Sean Connery era by auto art, but that's an expensive model. But the box is pretty nice. It's in a little bit of a tattered condition, as this is an older model, but this is by Beanstalk. It says James Bond right here, 007, Aston Martin V12 Vanquish. Got the Aston Martin logo and Bond, James Bond right there in the graphic. So on this side right here, it just says Aston Martin, and then back here, this shows you the retractable grill, the rockets and guns. You can slide the intake covers up, and the guns actually slide up. So that's pretty cool. Auto tracking guns, ejector armed, ejector released, closed and open. So I do have the roof panel removed. You pretty much probably should know what this looks like with the roof panel on, but for purposes of just showing the interior and stuff, I'm going to leave the roof panel removed. It is with the package, but I don't want to really open the model fully because I want to keep it mint. But anyway, now the outside of the model is very detailed. Some of the cooler features, the brake discs do move with the wheels, so that's pretty nice. You can kind of move the brake disc along. Now I would like to get Zhao's Jaguar from this series because that had a lot of working parts and it was a really cool model. I would love to get that model. So I like this model, but I would love to get Zhao's Jaguar. Jinx's Thunderbird, that one's okay, but I really don't need it. But I would love to have Zhao's Jaguar. That would be kind of cool to have. Really nice gray paint, like a gunmetal gray on the outside here. Got the door handles panning down the side. Got the gas cap right here. They got the back with the nice exhaust tips, and they are blacked out right here. So you got that in the back. Got the KEO2 EWW. Ew. Looks like it says ew right there on the plate. I don't know. So got the rear taillights, and there's really no peg in them, so Beanstalk did a really nice job with this model. I'm trying to move my camera so I don't knock it off the table here, because that's happened a couple times in some of my videos on accident. I know y'all have seen that. Got the defroster shields right there on the window, so that's pretty nice. Usually you don't see that with a lot of models like that. So, and these were actually 25 bucks when they came out, so they weren't very expensive. But the brake discs do move as they should, I believe, through the wheels. It's pretty nice. The suspension works actually. I do want to mention that, but the suspension does actually work on this model, which is really cool. So for the price point, you can't beat this model really. It's a good one to get. Nice vents right here on the side. Nice headlights right here. There is no peg in these headlights. They are really nicely detailed. Got the Aston Martin badge now. The front again says ew. I don't know why. I'm just joking. But got the nice marker lights here. These don't have any peg in them either. Usually the marker lights have a peg in them, but you don't see that with these. So it's a really nicely done model. Now that's the outside. I'll show you the front here. This is the first feature. The grill does open up. And you got the rockets in there, which is really, really cool. So that's pretty neat. I don't think it's really tight. I don't want to do it too much because it might make that a little less tight on there. Alright, now I'll open the hood and I'll show you the motor in this car. Oh yeah, okay, so the first feature, you can slide the intake covers and move them right here. And you can move those right over here, move that one there, and then when you put the hood down, you'll have the intake covers sticking right there. Or if you want your spy gadgets, you can move these right here, and you can slide these up and pull them up. You don't want to pull them up too much, you might break. They could break, but these do slide up. And now the hood goes down, you have your guns. These are the auto tracking guns. And I'll leave those up for right now. But the motor is really nicely detailed. Beanstalk did do a great job with this engine. I'm sure the Jaguar is really nice too, but the motor is really nicely detailed. Did a whole lot of work on this. It doesn't look like a flat plate. They did a really good job. Just all the componentry is there, and everything that the V12 Vanquish would have is underneath that hood. So they did a really good job on this motor. One of the only Aston Martins that I have in my collection, and one of probably the more budget-friendly models of the Aston Martin you can buy, actually, to tell you the truth. Alright, so that's that. Now, I will slide these rockets open so you can get an idea of all the gadgetry in this car. Now you open the interior, and yeah, this little feature right here, if I can get it to work. I'm just trying to figure out how you press this button. Oh, right there. See, the ejector seat works. Now, I don't know if you could pop like a 1/18 scale figure out of there with the ejector seat. It's not really super powerful. I'm trying to get it to slide down here. I hope I don't break anything. There we go. I got it to slide in. Now, I wouldn't do that too much with it. You might actually mess up the mechanism. But yeah, there's the interior. Pretty nicely done. Well made model. Beanstalk made a lot of good models, but this is these are some of the better ones that they made, the James Bond ones that they did. I would love to get the Aston Martin DB5 from the series, but they are hard to find and they're usually expensive. Now on the back here you got the luggage straps for the tie downs and everything, so that's pretty cool that they put those in there. So very well done. Now I'll open the other door because this is where Bond would sit. I'll show you that. They do a lot of good work. They did all the gauges, they painted up all the buttons, so really a good job with this model. You know, and they even did the pedals right there, so they're like the sport pedals on the Aston Martins and everything. Got the door panels right here. So, and then on the inside, the door panels are all painted up. You have the speakers and everything, so they are really well done. And you got glass in the mirrors, or the stickers in the mirrors. So they did a really good job. Now the trunk, there's not too much going on in the trunk. They actually did a good job with these hinges. They're like really thin. They're not super thick, but they're like really thin. So you can't really tell that they're there until you either close it or have it open. So really good job with these hinges. I love the way they do that. Not a lot of companies do that with their models. So very good job there. Alright, so now I will show you the model with everything open. So there's the James Bond car with everything open. And I will close the grill. Move these guns down here. So it's a very cool model. I love this piece. This is one of my more favorite pieces in my collection that I own. I just got to be careful because these guns are on like really thin arms and I don't want to break anything. I actually did that so I could show you the underside. I didn't want to break off one of the guns there. But the underside is pretty flat. You can't tell that anything's under there. I'm sure they did a lot of detail work, but it's supposed to be flat underneath here because the Aston Martin's a sports car, but they did a pretty good job with this. They did paint this, so it's not just a flat black color. So, like I said, really good job. And then there's a torque tube right there, or whatever the transmission. So it is kind of there. You can kind of see it, but if you look really closely. But they did a good job with the model. So now on to my final thoughts about the model. My final rating of this model is a full 10 out of 10. I absolutely love it. Beanstalk did a great job on this piece. No question about it. If you are looking to pick one up, you're probably going to have to pay a good 40, 50, maybe 60 bucks for it. It's going to run you quite a bit. So, to be honest with you, would it be worth that? For all the detail, yeah. Back in the day, they were only 25 bucks, but you'd probably be hard-pressed to find one now for less than 50 or 40. So it's a good model, but you are going to pay up for one of these, and especially the DB5 from Goldfinger or the earlier James Bond. So in my opinion, I love this model. So if you are out there and you're looking for one, good luck. They're expensive, but they are nice. Anyway, I did forget to show you that the wheels do turn with the steering wheel, but most models do have that, so you pretty much already know. So they did a really good job. Anyway, guys, I'm Jared White, the J-Man63. If it has to do with diecast, it has to be 63, the J-Man63. Shaken, not stirred. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Bye.